Hello, I'm PizzaScientist, and today I'm showing you how to make some working water I made in Source 2, and also how to make your own. Now let's head on over to the game. This map is a prefab that's in the description if you want to take a look for yourself on how this was made. So here's our little map, and we have some water that's flowing by, and if we were to put an object in it, it'll also float in the water, and it even splashes a little bit. So we're going to put some objects in here, so you can see how that works. And they all splash. So wherever I throw them in here, they'll always flow in this direction in the water, and they have splashing particle systems. And then if the player were also to get in the water, their vision is going to change, so it turns blue, so it looks like you're underwater. Now this system doesn't have any sounds, but it would be pretty easy to implement. So now let's talk about how this is made. So under all of this, there's a post-processing volume. So when the player touches it, it will change their vision to a custom post-process that makes it look like you're underwater. And it's a little bit further down, because if you were to just dip like your hand into it, into the top, it would make your vision above the water all blue, which doesn't make that much sense. So it's down lower, so your head has to be underneath before everything looks like it's underwater. And then this is just a one-sided plane with a custom water material on it. In the material editor, you can make materials move, so I'll show you how that works. And it has disable shadows on exclude from viz, and the physics type is set to none, so the player and objects can go through it. First, we have a trigger physics, which is set for physics objects and physics debris, so those objects will float when they hit the trigger physics, which is just setting the gravity to none. Right here, the skill gravity is set to none. It has a linear force to this point, so the objects will move in this direction, and they go up towards the point, which I just put the point where the water's going. And it doesn't just keep floating up to the point, because once the object leaves the trigger, it won't be in zero gravity anymore. So then it'll fall back into it and then be zero gravity again, and that's how it bounces and floats. So the water splash system is this trigger here, which is set for physics objects and NPCs if NPC were to touch it. And it has an output for a environment entity maker. So here's our environment entity maker. So when this gets triggered, the trigger is going to tell our environment entity maker to use a point template, which is right here. And its template is a particle system, this water splash particle system that's already in the game. And so when this spawns the template has an output to start the particle system, and then it also kills it after 1 second. Otherwise, all the particle systems will be spawned multiple times over, and all the previous points that the objects hit the trigger will also go off. So it kills the previous one, and the template spawns the particle system at the position that the object is triggering the trigger, because of its output. Force spawn at entity origin, which is going to be the activator's origin. So to make the material move across, there's this texture coordinate scroll speed I used, and you can change it for the different directions that it can move and the speed using these sliders. So that's how I made it move. Again, you can get this prefab in the description, and I hope this tutorial inspired you to do something with water in Source 2. Also, if you have other ideas on tutorials, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!